and today we are talking to the wonderful Ffion Murray. Hello, Ffion. Why don't you kick us off, Ffion? Tell us a little bit about yourself, sort of where you studied, what you're doing now, stuff like that.
Yeah, so I studied popular and commercial music in Cardiff College, and then I went to uni to study music again. But I'm a singer-songwriter. I graduated last year, so I'm a singer-songwriter under the name Foxglove with double X, if anyone wants to check that out. So obviously before this whole thing hit, I was quite active in the music scene in Cardiff, just performing quite a lot, working with my producer and things like that. I was also part of the Forte Project. I don't know if anyone's heard of it. It's called the Forte 10.
Okay.
So it's kind of like they pick 10 acts a year from places like the Rhoddir and things like that, and they basically mentor you for a year. They fund things for you, and it's like quite a nice big network thing.
Oh, okay.
It's a bit like Horizons. It's just the one, I don't know if you've heard of BBC Horizons.
Yeah.
Also,
I know.
So a bit like that, but like the one down from it.
So we've got one here from Dan, and he's asking, how did you get onto the Forte Project?
So you have to be between the ages of 16 and 25, and be from either the Rhoddir, cyfle. It's basically the places around Cardiff, but not Cardiff. So you go online and you just fill out a form. They choose the new 10 every December. So just look at it at the end of the year. See that they ask you to send in any socials you have, any music, anything to do with what you're actively doing in the scene. They kind of pick artists or bands from different stages. So for example, when I applied, I actually didn't have anything like Fox. That was just kind of an idea. I had a very badly recorded version of couple of my tracks. So I was quite lucky actually to get on, because a lot of the artists have either been doing it for years or already quite active in the scene. I'd never actually performed as Foxglove with my own songs before I went on this project, but it was so good for me. It was very, very good. So yeah, if you can, definitely apply.
But I'm really interested. Where did the name Foxglove come from?
So it's the English version of my name, Ffion.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I was kind of I didn't really want to just be Ffion Murray. I was I'm going to be a bit extra here and change it up a bit.
As you should be, that's great.
Yeah. And yeah, the double X is kind of personally I think it looked cooler, but I'm going to tell people it stands for the double F in my name.
What was it like studying music at college?
It was really good. I enjoyed it so much. I loved my course. I loved my tutors. Sharon was my tutor. I'm not entirely sure she's still there in Cardiff and Vale, but she was absolutely amazing. I come out, obviously I left school. There wasn't much going on where I lived and where I went to school. They didn't really put much effort into music, so it was nice to go on a course, be around like-minded people, have the opportunities I did, and it really upped my confidence. Because before I went to college, I'd never actually sang in a band. I'd normally just kind of sing on my own. And things like that. So yeah, it was really good. I learned so much, and yeah, just like I said, being around like-minded people is just it's so good for you. Lyrics tend to come to me just randomly. I write lyrics and I come up with melodies. I don't actually play an instrument, so it's quite hard to do that without obviously being able to work with my guitarist or any other musician face to face. But I have been thinking about doing a live stream or a video. I just haven't got around to it. But if you are doing it, absolutely, hats off to you, amazing, because I'm finding it difficult.
What's the best advice you've ever received when it comes to music?
That's a really good question. Network as much as possible. So try to be involved in like your local music scene, like wherever that is. So like I said, like go to gigs and then meet people, and like do it through that, because like it's networking is so important if you want to go into music, because like knowing people who, they don't even have to be other people who are like artists or in bands, like you can meet promoters, photographers, like all sorts of different people. Like that was a good thing about being in college and uni. You were around people who were doing like courses, like other art courses that kind of like helped you with that. So yeah, just try to be as active as you can in the scene, even if you're not ready to perform yet. Just like go to gigs and like be involved and like meet people and talk to people and stuff. And also, sorry, just popped into my head, like if always like ask for help if you need it. Like don't be afraid, like don't ever be like, because I used to be quite scared of like asking for help, because I was afraid people would be like, oh, you don't know that already. I don't know what I thought about that, but just ask for help if you need it.
When you got with Vox Club, is it just you, or do you have any other musicians with you?
So far I've been performing with a guitarist named Jed Robertson. He's amazing, he's so good. I went to uni with him. So at the moment, it's just me and a guitar. So he plays electric guitar with like the pedals and stuff, and it sounds so pretty. But I would eventually like to have like a full band, maybe a bit of backing track, because like I released a single this year, so like it sounds different from how I play it live, obviously, because it's like just me and a guitar live, and then there's all this like amazing like stuff going on in the track that I've released.
Ffion, I'm just wondering, you mentioned a single, but what's the name of it?
It's called City. It's on Spotify, it's on iTunes, it's on iTunes, Apple Music, and not even sure if iTunes still a thing, maybe it is. But yeah, it's on all the streaming platforms, and I also have a music video if you want to check that out. It's really cool, actually.
What was it like putting that a single together then?
It was really interesting, actually, because that particular single I actually started writing in 2015 when I was in college, and then I did like different versions of it when I was in uni. I worked with like, because like some of my assignments was to like make a single, make a track, and hand it in and stuff. And then when I went on the Forte Project, I got to work with this amazing producer called James Minas. He's also his own artist, so like he's called Minas if you ever want to check him out. But he's absolutely incredible. So that was quite interesting, because I kind of went in with obviously like my lyrics and like different versions of the track, and I then give him like some references on like how I wanted it to sound and things. So that was really fun. It was really fun to do. Like we'd send it back and forth to each other, and I'd be like, I want a bit more of this or a bit more of that, or less of this. So it was really fun. Really enjoyed doing that.
I like to write songs, but I've never finished one. Any advice?
Oh, that's a good one. I used to have this problem. In fact, I still sometimes do have this problem, because I mostly like start with lyrics, and then like I kind of like create melodies, just like in my head, like wherever I feel sounds good. And for me, because I can't play an instrument yet, I would like to learn, but I feel like if I could play an instrument, it might help me a little bit. But sometimes I think like you can think too much about it. Just like try to write everything down, like whatever you have in your head, just like chuck it all down on like your notes or like your notepad, whatever you write it on, and like just try different things out with it, like because like sometimes it can take me like so long to finish a song. I'll normally have like a chorus, and then I don't have a verse for that song for months, and like, or like vice versa. I think I think too much about it, so like the only advice I can give there is to just whatever pops into your head, write it down, even if you think it sounds not really good the next day. At least you have that, you could put that lyric in a different song and things like that. So just whatever comes to your head, just keep going at it, but don't don't overdo it either. Like, if you need to take a step back from it, take a step back. Like, there's no rush.
How did you start off singing publicly, and did you get nervous?
Oh yeah, I was so nervous, so nervous. But because it's something I've like always wanted to do, I kind of just went for it. Because I actually did my first gig July last year, so I've only been gigging really for like about a year. What I did before was, and this is advice I got given when I was on Forte, it was actually like some of the best advice, but I went to do an open mic first. So a gig had been planned for me. I was supporting Hannah 2K and Macy, the two artists who were also on the project. And I was really nervous. It was my first gig as Foxglove, singing my own songs. And like to me, my songs were really personal. So I was like, didn't know how I felt about like sharing that with people that I knew mostly. Like I feel like I get quite scared singing in front of people I know than I don't know. So I did an open mic first, and I didn't tell anyone that I was doing it. I just did it just to kind of like get that feel. I got my friend to record it so I could like look back. Because like an open mic, there's no pressure, you know, you can just go up and just like do what you want. Like obviously you can do what you want, it's your own gig. I'm just like, for me, just it kind of calmed my nerves a bit and prepared me for like what was to come. So if you are nervous about it, definitely like do a few open mics and stuff, because it'll help you out.
Do you have a specific time to write, or do you have to kind of scramble to find something to write it down when inspiration hits?
I try to give myself specific time sometimes, but it's never consistent. Like I definitely should, I think. But yeah, sometimes I can, like, inspiration kind of hits me like randomly, like if I'm walking or if I'm on the bus, or like if I'm just about to go to sleep, you know. And if it comes, but it'll just come randomly, and then I'll just write it down on my phone, and then sometimes I'll look back on it and like work around that. But I should make more of an effort to have like specific time, like maybe like each week.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not very good at doing that, I'm not gonna lie. But it does come to me just randomly. I don't like to force it out, because whenever I've done that, it just hasn't really worked for me. But yeah, that's just me personally.
Have you got any tips for making the most of your time in college?
I would just say, yeah, just like, obviously, I'm saying this as if like no one's going to do this, but like obviously turn up and just be as involved as you possibly can. Like, take like any advice you can from the tutors and like the people around you, because like obviously it's all like a learning process, isn't it? So yeah, just like take as much information as you can, just like gather it all up, and then like you kind of know where to go with that. But yeah, just, and also use the facilities in the college and or uni or wherever you go, like to your advantage, because things are expensive. So like if you have somewhere that's like free, like a studio, like, you know, practice rooms, just like take advantage of it as much as you can when you got it.
In response to when we were talking about how you got your producer and stuff, and you mentioned that you can kind of reach out to people. Hannah here is asking, when you say reach out to someone, how do you do that? Is it like you send them an email? Is it like send them like a demo of some of your music or something?
Yeah, so like, I think like email is probably the best way to go about it. Unless you know them a bit more personally, like you could probably send them like a Facebook message, but like, yeah, like give them an email, and yeah, send them like your demo or your finished track, or like, even if like what helps my producer, he says, well, I put a playlist together of songs that I kind of want my song to sound like, or like even if it's just like I want the drums from this song, like I want it to sound similar to this, or I want like the synths in this song, like, so, and you can like, yeah, you can make that playlist and then also write down by each song kind of what you want out of that song, like this similar sound, and that kind of helps them a lot. Just go back on what I've already said, I guess. Yeah, just like absolutely like get as many contacts as you possibly can, and by that I just mean like be like actively involved in like the scene and like get to know people who are doing music and like whatever that is, whether it's in a band or like producing, or even a photographer. Do you know what I mean? Like it's good to know like photographers and videographers and stuff, and things like that. And yeah, like, and just go for it. Like if it's something you want to do, just go for it. Like you can do this, you got this. Because I was really scared when I first started it, but you know, I love it. So it still freaks me out, but I love it so much that I'm happy to keep doing it. So
wonderful. That's some fantastic advice.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you very much, Ffion, for coming along and giving a VocTalk for us today.